In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys 40 tips to master in Fortnite to improve 10 times faster on keyboard and mouse. The tips that will be shown in this video will be mainly for beginners or low skilled players, but regardless of the skill level you are, I guarantee you that there will be tips in this video that you don't know or tips in this video that you probably forgot about. Last thing to mention, these tips will not be ranked in any order. So now without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. This video is not sponsored in any way, so if any of these tips do help you or you just want to support me, feel free to use my code Witeout in the item shop, or you can become a channel member on my channel. Also, if you do want me to make more videos like these or even a series, make sure to leave a like on this video so more people can see this. So now let's get into tip number 1. Having optimal binds is something a lot of players use, but that is not something you need. Of course, it would be more beneficial if you have optimal binds, but what is more important is to choose any binds that you feel most comfortable with and keeping those said binds instead of just changing them. It doesn't matter what works for other players if it doesn't work for you. And constantly changing binds to find binds that you think are better will affect your muscle memory, which I will get into later on in this video. Finding the perfect sense will not be the easiest thing to do, but one mistake a lot of people make when trying to find the sense or even other settings is copying their favorite pro settings. Fortnite is a very unoptimized game when it comes to choosing settings, and especially your sense. What I can say that is using a lower sense is more popular than using a higher sense because it is easier to control. I could go on and tell you guys how you can find the best sense for you, but I have made videos on how to do that already, which I will link in the description. If you are on keyboard and mouse, which I am assuming because you are watching this video, then double movement will be your best friend. If you don't know what double movement is, using double movement allows you to remap your movement binds, which is your WASD keybinds, to the left stick of a controller, giving you that controller-like movement when strafing left and right. There are new in-game settings that you guys can use now, which is now on console and PC, and these are the settings that I use. If you are looking to improve your aim, then you need to start using aim trainers. One of the best aim trainers that you guys can use on PC is Kovacs. Kovacs is a third-party aim trainer that you can find on Steam. If you don't want to spend money on Kovacs, or if you're not on PC, then you can use in-game aim trainers. There are multiple maps that you can use in creative, such as 1v1 aim duels and Raiders aim training map, just to name a few. But using these aim trainers will improve your aim. If you are still new to keyboard and mouse, or if you are struggling, keep your controllers out of your eyesight. When you are first starting out on keyboard and mouse, your mechanics will not be the best. This means that when you first start learning how to play on keyboard and mouse, you are going to get destroyed. So why should you hide your controllers? Your first reaction won't be to switch inputs after getting destroyed, instead of just trying to improve. We all have to start from the bottom to improve over time. You won't see success overnight, and I guarantee you that doing this will be a life and time saver if you are keeping your controllers out of sight. Warming up is a very important aspect when you want to see improvement in something, especially in tournaments. Not warming up can be very frustrating since you haven't regained your muscle memory from playing in previous days. I would not recommend playing Arena as soon as you get on Fortnite as a warm-up routine, but I would recommend using practice maps in creative, then Arena after to get the most realistic fights. If you are still new to keyboard and mouse, if you struggle to remember your binds, go into creative and put yourself in high pressure situations, so you are building up your muscle memory. A good map to do this is realistic Peripherals, and the reason being is because this is a 16-player map, so when you have a bunch of third parties on you, you will be forced to press your correct binds, and if not, you will get punished by dying. And using this map is going to help you improve because you are going to be taking so many fights. Whenever you get a kill or you find a bunch of loot, make sure your pickaxe is out when looting. Doing this guarantees you grab all of the loot without swapping your weapons when you are spamming your interact key. You do not need to have the best peripherals to succeed in gaming. When it comes to keyboard and mouse, you do not need to have the best peripherals. The only thing that matters is that you have a mechanical keyboard and not a membrane keyboard. And you also want a gaming mouse that has side buttons. You don't need to have any fancy switches to become the best, or you don't need to have the most expensive keyboard and mouse. It only depends on how much work you put in. Being consistent while practicing the right things will lead to more success in improving your mechanics. You don't need to play Fortnite for 12 hours straight every day to be considered consistent, but balancing out your practice and competitive play, no matter how long you play per day, will make you consistent. You need to have the mindset that you will improve no matter how much you fail. Having a manifested mindset is very powerful because that means that you care to achieve your set goals and dreams. Having a good mindset will make you more passionate to play. If you are looking for fast improvement, then you need to engage in as many fights as possible per day. If you spend your entire day spectating your friends, you will not be improving in any way. Even if you are losing most of your fights, you can still learn from them since you are getting more experience. You can use creative 1v1s or free-for-all maps to take the most fights, then afterwards play Arena. This is going to be one of the most useful tips, and that is to not sit in your comfort zone. Imagine this. Imagine you are playing with a friend and he is a very bad player, and you constantly kill him in game. then suddenly you run into a good player that constantly kills you. You shouldn't use that as demotivation, but instead you should use that as motivation. If you are constantly looking for the easy way out, then that is not going to help you improve. You can learn and become a better player by just playing with better players instead of bad players. Just a disclaimer, I am not telling you to stop playing with your friends if they are bad. I'm just saying to not take the easy way out by sitting in your comfort zone. When you are playing Fortnite and you are noticing that you struggle with one mechanic, whether it is your aim or your piece control, you should focus on improving that mechanic more than your mechanics that are already good. If you are spending more time improving your aim when you already have good building mechanics, then you will become a better player. Watch one of your favorite pros play arena or any tournament before you decide to play. Watching your favorite pros will motivate you or inspire you to play Fortnite, and when you are playing Fortnite, you can implement what you watched into your gameplay. Set short-term and long-term goals. Setting these goals will 100% be different for everybody because we all have different goals that we want to achieve. Maybe your goal is to have the best aim in the next 3 months, or maybe your goal is to stack a certain amount of PR. The only thing you don't want to do is set unrealistic goals that will be 99.9% impossible to achieve. In order for you to achieve these goals, you must be very consistent. Create the perfect schedule to balance out practice in creative and in game. Playing creative can be very fun, but you don't want to spend all of your time playing in creative, because your performance will not be the same compared to playing arena. You do need to convert your skills from creative into an actual game. Something you can do is create a 30-minute warm-up routine, then after that, you can practice fighting in realistic 1v1s or free-for-alls, and to finish it off, you can go into arena after. You do not need to have that as a schedule, but you do need to balance out your time playing. When you are starting out on keyboard and mouse, you don't want to jump ahead and learn all of the advanced retakes and techniques that everyone is using when you still need to learn and master the fundamentals. Go into your game settings and turn on auto sort consumables to the right. When you have the setting turned on, when you pick up shields or any meds, they will go into empty slots on the right. You can create your own item slots. Preferred item slots allows you to assign any weapon type to any slot in your inventory. This is a very useful setting to have on when looting. Understand that if you are just starting out on keyboard and mouse, you are going to get destroyed. Making the switch from controller to keyboard and mouse wasn't going to be easy, but quitting after making the switch shouldn't be easier. Everybody, including pro players, has started out in the same position you're in, so that shouldn't stop you from improving. Having a like-minded friend group who is constantly motivated to grind is going to make your life so much easier. If it is an in-game friend group or a real-life friend group, having motivated people in the same group as you will get you inspired to achieve anything you want to achieve. This does not mean that you can't hang out with anyone that is not like-minded like you, though when it comes to self-growth, sometimes you have to make those sacrifices. Make your shotgun bind the easiest to access. The bind that I use for my shotgun is scroll wheel down. You want to have your own shotgun on a bind that you know that you'll remember, because when you're in a fight, you don't want to look lost and die because of a bind. Regardless of the amount of time you play, whether it is 12 hours a day or 2 hours a day, if you are managing your time to improve your mechanics with a balanced schedule, then you will notice much more improvement. Understand that working on improving mechanics for a few hours is much more beneficial than playing creative with your friends all day. Make sure you're using a mechanical keyboard and not a membrane keyboard. A membrane keyboard is one of those keyboards that you can find in an office, but those are not good for gaming. They do not have individual switches, and they are less durable than mechanical keyboards. Instead of VOD reviewing, write down all of the mistakes you are making in arena. If you write down your goals, you're more likely to achieve them. If you are recognizing patterns that you're making, this will improve your muscle memory. This will improve your muscle memory if you're writing it down. You should consider doing this if you really want to improve. Plus, this takes less time than VOD reviewing a full game. If you haven't already, start using scroll wheel reset. This is something that every keyboard and mouse player uses. Using this allows you to quickly reset multiple builds. Go to your settings, and in your binds, you want to add scroll wheel up or down on your building edit and on reset building edit. There are 3 different mouse grips that people use while gaming. You have palm grip, claw grip, and fingertip grip. I won't go in depth on how they work, but I will show a picture on screen so you guys can see how it looks when using these grips. The reason why I am bringing this up is because if you notice that you're struggling with aim, then this could potentially be the reason. Using side buttons for your build binds is the most optimal and takes less space on your keyboard. Side buttons are very easy to access, and it is the reason why most players use them. You can set your wall bind to the top side button and your stair bind to the bottom side button. Don't switch inputs when you are frustrated. If you constantly switch between keyboard and mouse and controller every time you die in game, this will not help you improve. 1v1 players who are better than you. If you want the best practice, then the best ways to get good practice is to 1v1 someone who is similar in skill to you or someone that is better than you. You can find players like collect these by going into scrim discords on your region and you'll find players to 1v1. If you are looking to improve your mechanics and piece control, then you need to use Raiders Mechanics Training Map V3. This map includes the classic build and replace piece control tunnels, edit crosshair training, and box fight training, but the most useful section in this map is peak training, which I will explain how it works. I would recommend using the hardest difficulty so you are getting the most practice and so it is actually a challenge. How this works is whenever you peek at the bot and you are just visible to it, you would immediately start to take damage. The goal for this is to make smart edits and not make bad edits that you would get away with in game without taking any damage. If you can manage to not get hit in this map by playing your angles right, then you can only imagine how much better you'll be playing in an actual game. When you are free building, you need to start implementing tarping. If you don't know how to tarp, then you can start practicing. There are different types of ways to tarp, like full box tarping, snake tarping, and stair tarping, but they are all used in different situations. You should not be worrying about mastering flashy retakes because they won't be used in game, but instead, you need to learn protective retakes and high walls. These are not hard to learn at all, and using high walls and protective retakes in game will help you win more fights. Put more time into practicing your weaknesses. When you're spending more time focusing on what you struggle on, your mechanics will be balanced. When you are playing arena, you shouldn't be worrying about your points. Your points do not matter at all because after reaching Division 5 or Contenders League, your points will not matter. Your only focus in arena should be to take and win as many fights as possible and to learn from all of your mistakes when dying. Solo arena is by far the least amount of fun you're gonna have while playing, but if you are focusing on your fights, then you will see improvement. Turn on auto open doors. This allows you to run straight through door edits or any other doors instead of having to press the key on your keyboard. You need to block out negative people. This is similar to having a motivated friend group, but when you're trying to improve in something, the last thing you need to have in your ear is negative energy from negative people. If they are telling you that it is too hard or you won't make it, then you need to be around different people. And the last tip that I have for you in this video is to subscribe to my channel. So that is the end of the video. This video was not easy at all to make, so if you guys do want me to make this into a series, I need all of you to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. The best ways to support me is to become a channel member or to use my code Witeout in the item shop. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day and I'll see you guys in the next video. From the past and the nonsense, tired of toxic games, not an option.